On the morning of the incident in Palatka, Florida, officers responded to a welfare check involving an 18-month-old child. What began as a routine call quickly escalated into a complex investigation involving allegations of neglect, desperation, and a missing child situation unfolding across multiple locations.
I asked you, do you need help? And she said, no, I don't need help. I just don't want the.
You don't remember having a conversation about trying to sell?
What? And she said, I'll give you, if you give me $500 right now, you can have it.
If I lost her, I would kill myself. I can't live without my baby.
The day is just beginning in Palatka, Florida, when one officer gets a call to check on the welfare of an 18-month-old baby girl.
They were worried about the baby.
Because she's throwing a tantrum.
No, well, more they wanted to make sure the baby was okay and that you were okay.
I'm fine. I'm trying to find emergency housing.
Here, let's walk over here so we're not right in front of everybody talking. So what's the situation? What are you going through right now?
I'm going through a lot.
Like as far as housing, why are you looking for emergency housing?
Because I had a boyfriend who used to beat the shit out of me and I don't want it around my kid.
Okay. So
Lee Conley will not take me.
Lee Conley won't take you?
No, because there was a conflict of interest to where one of their staff members told my husband where I was.
So Lee Conley, you've already dealt with them and they won't take you?
Right. I'm willing to do public assistance, public housing. I'm willing to do Mellon Manor. I don't have a ride.
Well, I know you didn't have a license for a while because we had an issue with that, so I remember that.
If you can please help me in any way.
Well, okay, so I've got our victim's advocate coming out. She's going to talk to you. She's going to bring some stuff for the baby.
Where?
She'll be coming
At
over
first
here.
glance, this looks like a routine welfare check. A young mother struggling, trying to find shelter and stability. But even here, you can feel something isn't stable. Her story is heavy, emotional, and complicated, and officers are already stepping carefully, trying to understand what's really going on behind the words.
She'll be coming over here.
Little does the officer know, the child's own mother, 33-year-old Jessica Woods, may present the biggest risk to her safety.
I'm going to be going over to the H&R block.
Well, she's coming over here. She'll be here shortly. She was getting the bag together now. She was trying to figure out to get information on the baby.
I need emergency housing.
She might be able to help you and kind of steer me in the right direction as well. Lee Conley was actually what I was going to try to recommend, but obviously that's kind of not the.
You know, just because the baby cries doesn't mean that they're in trouble.
No,
I'm sure you have kids.
I do. I have a son and a stepdaughter.
I can't even believe this. Who called? Am I allowed to go to H&R block? Am I allowed to go?
I've got our victim's advocate coming out here that's going to try
Can I
and get
sit in the
some stuff for
car
the
or
baby.
something? I'm freezing.
I don't want to sit you in the back of my car or anything, and I can't put you in the front. Let's walk over to this parking lot and buy my car at least, that way we're not out here.
I'm freezing, and I'm quite sure that one of the old people in there were the ones who called.
Well, I'm not sure who exactly called. All I know is they called and they came in and spoke with the staff, and they kind of gave me a rundown of the situation.
Yeah, they fed us.
Yeah. So that's at least good. You got some food. The baby got some food.
Yeah. Well, basically what happened was, and if you want to know the true story, I got married. My mother signed the paper when I was 16. I became a nurse. I became a business owner. At 33, I got divorced, and my husband is entitled to everything I've ever owned since I was 16 years old. So
You
he's
can lean
got,
against the car if you want. It's warmer. The front of the car is warm if you want to lean against it.
so he has gotten control of everything since I was 16 years old. He has exclusive possession of my bank account, my home, and my vehicles.
Well, what was the situation with that old Crown Vic you were driving for a while? The one that was attacked?
That was my uncle's that he was letting me use because my husband was trying to railroad me.
And then I know
I'm getting another vehicle.
I know we had pulled you over and you were with a guy that had a warrant a little while back. Was that her dad?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the husband in question?
No.
No. So where have you been staying with the baby?
Victims' advocates arrive and, seeing no immediate danger, provide fresh clothes and diapers for the child.
This is where the situation starts to shift. Officials are now not just hearing a story, they're starting to evaluate risk. And quietly, the focus begins to move toward the child. Nothing is confirmed yet, but the concern is already there in the background of every question being asked.
The child, and Jessica is sent on her way. But the baby girl resurfaces sooner than anyone expected, this time at the police station and in the arms of an employee from a nearby business.
This morning I came 7 a.m. The mom, Jessica, was laying on the AC unit. And she was in a Dollar General's buggy. And it was drizzling. She was asleep and the baby was in there hollering. So then I said, do you want me to go to the store and get her some stuff and she can sit in here? And she was like, no. Do you have some money? I said, no, ma'am. I have money to get your daughter stuff. And she was like, no, you could just have her. I was like, ma'am. I said, no. I said, do you need help? Like, do you need me to call these people so they can help you? And she said, no, don't worry about it. And she snatched her daughter out the top part and slammed her in the bottom part. Then she went to Dollar General. And that's, I guess, why they had a police report this morning for Dollar General, her throwing stuff on top of the little girl. And she came back to our job. At this point, she's yelling at the customers in there to give her money. I said, ma'am, you gotta leave. Like, you have to leave now. She said, oh, I'm not leaving. And then took her in the bathroom, and she was hitting her. I don't know why. I don't know what she did, or a child can't do anything, but I'm just saying I don't know what the reason was. And she left out of there. When she left out of there, I called the police. I think the man that just came here, I waved him down in traffic. And I said, could you follow me? She's right there. And she literally pushed the buggy in the road and laughed about it. And then hurried up and grabbed it. And I'm like, is she crazy? So at this point, I'm following her into Dollar General. I told my manager what I was doing. And I see the police officers. They were like, okay, if she's still out of the store, we can charge her.
This testimony changes everything. Now we're no longer dealing with assumptions. We're hearing firsthand claims of neglect and disturbing behavior in public. The image becomes clearer and far more alarming. The child is no longer just present in the situation. She is vulnerable.
Charge her. And I'm like, all the stuff she done did this baby, y'all should be charging her for that. So they said it was my word over hers. Okay. She came back. I see her walking back towards our job.
So now this was all last night?
No, this all today.
Yeah,
Okay.
some of this is from today.
Yes. So she walking past the job with some other girl. And she said, come here, because I trust you, come here. So I'm like, oh my God. I asked two of my coworkers to walk out with me because I don't know what's in somebody's mind. And as I walked over there, she said, I'll give you, if you give me $500 right now, you can have it. I said, have what? She said, have her. And she put her down in the leaves. And I said, are you serious? At this time, the baby got up and she was getting ready to walk in the road. If you know Krill, it's a busy road. So she's getting ready, and I grabbed the baby and I picked her up and I said, I'm not giving you no money. She said, well, just have her because it's just too much for me. I said, what is too much for you? I said, do you need help? Again, I'm asking you, do you need help? And she said, no, I don't need help. I just don't want the. And I said, okay. And I got the baby. I was crying. I walked across the street and I tried to wake her up. And I put her in my car and I told her she is going to be okay. This should not go on with a child.
This is the breaking point of the entire case. The moment a child is allegedly offered for money completely shifts the tone of everything we've seen so far. Whether born from desperation or something deeper, this is where concern turns into urgency. And when the Good Samaritan steps in, it's the first real moment of protection for the child.
Detectives attempt to piece together the puzzle of Jessica's day. Where did she go after speaking to police this morning, and where is she now?
Now, they was willing to give her the money. They was like, whatever it takes for her to get away. Yeah. I was like, no, we're not enabling her.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was like, we're not enabling her, and we're not breaking the law for her either. I know your hands are tied this morning. I wasn't mad. I can't see how people do this to us.
No, I have, since I talked to you, I've been trying to find a reason to arrest her. So I was just looking for her right before you showed up here. She stole from the dollar store, and I went to go arrest her, and I talked to the dollar store ladies, and they said, I asked them, I said, does she have a baby with her? And they said no. And that's where I was like, And they said she was mumbling on something about she gave the baby to her sister for the weekend. And I was like, no, because when we spoke to her earlier, she said she didn't have anyone.
Exactly.
So it already shot up red flags, and then not even 10 minutes later, I was doing something in my car, and they called and said you were here with her. And I was like, oh.
Thank God for y'all for it. I promise.
Thank you, man. No, you're the hero here.
What time did we get the shoplifting where she stole the sandals and walked out of?
That wasn't long ago. That was like maybe 30 minutes ago.
They were
45
black
minutes ago.
sandals?
I don't know. She
apparently
walked
just
out
took
of Dollar General with some sandals.
So I got
that she stole.
the timeline for the.
Because when she just gave it back, she didn't have
Because at that time, the clerks were saying that she didn't have the baby with her then. She was saying that she gave the baby to her sister for the weekend.
No, I'm not her sister. I ain't okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna, I don't know if that's gonna have a hearing on it, but,
Let's see how long she obviously was in.
I mean, we know she didn't have a baby at that point. So.
right, and she knows what time she got the baby, so.
Yeah, I had the baby at like 2:45.
But she's still over there around Pearl Avenue somewhere.
Oh, she is. She's been walking back and forth.
She couldn't have got far. I bet she's either in the other dollar store or Burger King.
With the Good Samaritan headed back to work, Child Services takes the baby girl into custody. And after 2 full days of hide
Now
and
officers are trying to rebuild a timeline that doesn't fully connect. Too many gaps, too many missing pieces. And somehow, through all of this chaos, the child ends up safe at the station. But the question now becomes how she got here and what really happened in between.
full days of hide and seek, officers finally locate our Mother of the Year nominee who, surprise, has her own account of events.
What's your daughter's name? How old is
She's 18 months old. She's my world and I'm hers.
Okay. Where is
Was supposed to be returned to me last night by 6 p.m. I got called by the police and told me the DCF got involved. I went to file my taxes at H&R Block. While I was there, one of the members of my church filed my taxes for me. She asked me if she could keep my daughter overnight. She said she wanted to buy her some clothes. She know I just got out of abusive marriage and I'm trying to get back on my feet. I just got a stable place to stay. We exchanged numbers. I told her I had to have her back by 6 p.m. She could only stay one night. She wanted to keep her for a week. I told her no way. I have 5 witnesses to this. Okay, the next thing I know, I got served with an order that was stating that I am not allowed to go to H&R Block. and any attempts that I made to contact her, I could not reach her. So when I called the DCF caseworker yesterday, he told me that he was supposed to meet me with my daughter, that for some reason he had her, which I'm not even understanding why, because the H&R Block employee, the one I go to church with, was supposed to be staying the night with her, one night.
Okay, and what's the worker that you go to church with? What's her name?
Her name's, I don't know which her legal name. I can pull out everything in my phone. I know I thought she was a good lady. Apparently her and my sister are working together. She's the black girl with the pink hair.
And you don't know his last name?
To be honest with you, I'm having an anxiety attack. My child just got taken from me, and I'm a nurse, and I could be losing everything.
So how long have you known?
I've known her on and off for like 10 years.
Okay.
Like I said, she asked me several times. I told her multiple times, no, I don't like my child to go anywhere. She repeatedly asked me, she said, I can help you with clothing, I can help you get diapers, please let me help you. One of my friends was there, her name's Kay. She said, Jay, just get the help, you need it right now. I said, one night, only one night. And when she didn't return my call, I told her that I was going to call the police and report my daughter missing if she didn't produce my child.
In Jessica's version, this was a conspiracy to kidnap her baby.
I needed the help. I've been going through DCF to try to get housing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, I could use the help with the clothes and stuff. I never asked her for money, never.
Okay.
But like I said,
You don't remember having a conversation about trying to sell?
what?
I'm just
No.
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 Okay.
I would never sell my child.
Okay.
No. I can't even believe that was even stated. My child is my life.
Okay.
If I lost her, I would kill myself. I can't live without my baby.
Her version of events tells a completely different story. Instead of neglect, she describes trust, betrayal, and manipulation. But the problem is, the details don't fully align with what witnesses have already said. Emotionally, she is clearly overwhelmed. But confusion and contradiction make the truth harder to separate.
And the conspiracy goes deeper the more Jessica speaks.
But like I said, multiple times she came and called me over there. She actually came out with 3 other employees, and they kept asking me for my baby. And I should have known something was up then, but I stupidly thought people still were decent human beings and were trying to help somebody who needed it. I followed through on everything today. As soon as I found out all of this, I made contact with the officer. I've done everything I'm supposed to do.
Gotcha. My big question is, you said you called her that night, and then did you call her again throughout the night? Did you call her the next day about?
Yes, I did call her. I have all that on my phone.
Yeah. But here's my contradiction. You said that you're very concerned about your daughter. You were trying to do the best for her, which I get. You know, if somebody can provide something right now that you can, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people helping people, right? It takes a community, it takes a village to raise a child, right? However, here's my thing.
I'm sorry. Can you please take this off? I have a bad cut and it's really hurting my.
We can't take them off, okay?
I'm
Not
sorry.
now.
I'm sorry.
But listen. So you called her that same night, concerned. She said. Did she say no? I'm not returning your baby.
No, she never said that.
Okay, so what did she say?
She never said that.
No, that's what I'm asking.
She was supposed to be going to the outlet to buy my baby.
Yeah, but you said that you called her.
I did call her
that night, and the
then
officers left.
Then when I got
the band,
that's when I told her if she didn't produce my child. At the time, she said that I was going to be calling the police.
Okay, so it wasn't like she said, "Oh, I'm not bringing it back." You were just trying to reiterate, "Hey, We had a deadline.
Yeah.
You better
I
have her
said-
there.
Yeah, I said, I
So
don't
it
know.
wasn't like you were asking for it right then and there. You just
Right.
were asking her to keep the deadline.
Right, I said, I appreciate what you are trying to do. I don't know why I just got banned from H&R Block. This is making me very uncomfortable at this point.
Gotcha.
I feel like something's going on more than what we've talked about. If you don't produce my child, I'm going to call police and I will report her missing.
Gotcha.
So
This would have been
she was
Wednesday.
yesterday.
Yes.
And before the deadline, DCF called me. The DCF caseworker called me before she was even supposed to be back. And he told me he had my daughter and that he was supposed to drop her off to me at 9 a.m.
And do you remember the DCF worker's name?
If I could have my phone, I could give you everything you just asked for.
So you said you got the call from the DCF worker Wednesday morning?
No, yesterday.
Yeah, that's Wednesday. Today's
Okay.
Thursday.
I've been crying all night. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'm a nervous wreck. I want my baby.
Gotcha. Alright.
Excuse me.
Just to reiterate, you say has pink hair?
Pink hair.
Okay.
I think she, to be honest with you, my sister, me and her have a very bad relationship. She's had sex with my husband for years, and she actually used to open up the door and let him beat on me. She has wanted my child. She's told lies to my entire family. I believe she sent people to do that on purpose.
And this is your sister?
Because she laughed yesterday in my face and told me I was going to be in jail at 3 p.m.
This is where emotion and logic collide. The more she speaks, the more complicated the story becomes. Accusations start shifting toward family conflict and personal history, but investigators are focused on consistency. And right now, the pieces are not fitting together cleanly.
So they set this up. Sounds petty, but it's true.
I mean, what would be the reasoning they would do that?
Same reason she f***ed my husband. She's spiteful.
Jessica Woods was charged with 3 counts of child abuse, 1 count each of child neglect, unlawful desertion of a child, and selling or surrendering a minor for money or property. She remains in detention on bond of $255,000 at the time of publication.
At this point, everything comes to a legal conclusion. The emotional explanations, the conflicting stories, the chaos of the day, it all leads here. Formal charges are announced, and the situation transitions from confusion and investigation to accountability under the law.